So as we're taking our first couple of breaths here today, let it flow deep and full for your body. We're already helping our muscles relax. We're easing into this floor space. The idea that we're working on today fits with the cold weather we have currently. The idea is that when we head toward colder days and toward these winter months, the natural reaction is to head toward stagnation. Just like a bear, how it will head inside and it will just hibernate. It'll close all the doors, it'll go to sleep and not move hardly an inch the whole rest of the winter. I don't know if you're like me, but that's how my winters oftentimes are. I get home, I put a blanket on, and I'm just kind of there in that spot the whole rest of the day. And so that would be what I would call a stagnant state, a state where you're not moving, you're not really budging, you maybe like negotiate in your mind, do I actually want to refill my cup of water or should I just let it be? And, very little movement through the body. And so the idea today is to fight against stagnation by taking on constant flow rhythmic states. And so this works perfect with Yogilates because oftentimes the poses already are going back and forth between shapes. And so as we're doing those movements, just let that idea rest in the back of the mind. I'm not just doing this to get stronger. I'm not just doing this to warm up, but also I'm doing this to remove stagnation in the body, to get the body and the cells of the body to move and to flow in ways where maybe they didn't initially want to today when I first woke up in the morning. And so with that idea of removing stagnation to lead us on, let's start to take the knees into the chest. We can introduce a few nice little circles on the low back. Breathing. Starting to massage that area, check in with how it feels. And so it's not often in a life where we just jump into the crazy deep end of things. And so let's build our way up nice and gradually. So this first movement, the constant flow, that removal of stagnation we're taking, is clasping our hands around the left knee. As we do that, this right leg starts to stretch up to the sky. We lower the straight leg down toward the ground. And then as that right knee starts to circle in, we switch our hands to be on that side. Left leg straightens up, the straight leg lowers, and we bring it in. So this is just as much about starting to warm up the body and starting to do core stuff as it is that little moment right at the top where we feel our hamstrings starting to stretch. So make sure you pause at least for a moment to feel that length, and then we continue the circle. Exhale when it lowers. Inhale to come back in and switch. Three, two, and one. After that last one, switch the hands to be around the right knee. Extend the left leg long on the ground. And with this right knee, we're going to start passing the knee open between right hand and left hand. Continual motion, creating that body heat and removing the stagnation. then the next time the knee starts to cross over the body, let it stay for a few extra breaths in a simple spinal twist. Letting the body rotate open to the opposite direction. And from here, as the hip returns back down, switch the legs out. Right goes long, left comes in. Once it's in, start to pass it between left hand and right hand. And the next time we're crossing it all the way over the body, stay in the twist. Okay, when the hip goes to the ground, leave this left leg up with the bent knee. We take our hands to support the back side of the head. And as we lift the head up, twist opposite elbow to knee. So right elbow to that left knee, the right leg hovers, and then we start to switch, always touching opposite elbow to knee. That little hint is that the higher the angle is that you're extending the legs up to would make it easier. A lower angle would make it a lot harder. So you get to choose your difficulty here. I love that this includes the obliques. Oftentimes we think of strength and we do crunches. So let's make sure that we're including other goodies right in that torso. Five. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Hands on the floor by the hips. The legs go straight up to the sky. And from here, start tracing little circles. So it could be a nice tennis ball size. After you do one counterclockwise, the next one is counterclockwise, just switching back and forth. It's like never letting the body come to complete stillness. There's always something going on. And if you'd like to increase the circle size, maybe you're taking a huge beach ball size now. And then let's try one circle to each direction, the largest that you could possibly trace. So go wide, low, around, and up. And then reverse it all the way around. Good. As you complete that one, release this left leg down. Bend the right knee. The knee comes into the right hand. Left hand takes the foot. We're pulling that shin in toward the heart. And then we're giving that hip a few good rocks. Loosening out any tightness. Beautiful. From here, this leg drops all the way down, and we're going to cradle at the second side. So we're rocking it left and right. And then as this pauses, we release the hands so the foot can stretch up to the sky. With the hands clasping gently behind the backside of the knee, start to add little movements to help out the hamstring here. So we're doing a slight bend and a slight straightening of that knee. So again, constant movement, helping the body continue to open up through all those muscles. The next time it's straightening, let it stay. Even walk the hands up the leg, trying to pull the forehead in toward the knee. And as the head relaxes down, start hovering this right foot above the ground and start to do some straight leg switches. Just like before, make this just as much about the hamstring stretch as at the top of the stretch as it is about using the core. So grab on and pull. Grab on and pull. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with the right leg up, the simple bend and straightening of that knee. And then as it works towards stillness, walk the hands a bit higher, try to pull the forehead in toward the knee. Cover the left foot and start some of those straight leg switches. Again, make the tug up to the sky, especially a parent, getting into the hamstrings. Good stretch for the top leg. That also includes a little bit of arm strength in this as well, helping the upper body to continue to warm up. Three, 2, 1. The knees come together, the shins stick directly out parallel with the floor, and from here the arms spread open to left and right. We use an inhale to tilt partway down to one side, use the exhale to extend, and then bend the legs. Inhale to transfer through the center and tilt. Exhale, extend, and bend. Three more each side. Here's 2. And 1. Good. Let this left foot rest. The right hand grabs the outside edge of the right foot like a half happy baby. And then at your own pace, take a flow between pulling that knee as wide open as it can possibly go, and then extending this right leg as high up as you can go without releasing the hand. So back and forth, pulling the knee open, extending the leg up. And then choose your favorite of these two spots to pause for a moment, whether it's the knee going to the side or pausing at the hamstring opener. And with the release, we switch sides. Right drops down, we grab onto left, pull it open. And when you're ready, take your own pace. It can be faster than me, it can be slower. We're straightening and bending. Then choose which of those two spots is your favorite. Probably do the same thing that you did on the other side, and then just pause. Good, and with the release, our feet are preparing for bridge pose. The feet are planted, hands are on the floor by the hips. Then we start to lift the hips up, rolling them all the way there, and roll them down. Last one with this basic format, up and down. And then from here, anytime the hips touch down, the arms come up overhead. As we start to roll the hips up, the arms come down at our sides. And so let the arms oppose the action of the hips. And then adding on another layer of difficulty, we do the bridge pose with the arms like this. And then when they touch down, the legs come in, they reach out, they come in, we crunch, arms return, feet returns, bridge pose with the arms. Good, so when the arms stay, knees come in, out, in, arms crunch, arms return, feet returns, bridge with arms. So let's take 5 more of those. Knees in, out, in, arm crunch, and down. Normal bridge. Heading for 4. Good, feet down, normal bridge. And 3, knees, out, crunch with arms, and down, normal bridge. 2, crunch, feet down, and bridge. Last one, knees in, out, crunch, feet down, bridge. Beautiful. From here, take that right ankle to left thigh, thread the arms around, and then have constant motion here. This could be left and right rocking. This could be strength of the arms, pulsing this in and out. Find a nice gentle pulsation that allows your body to never quite find that stagnancy. Release this one. Take the opposite ankle up And let's start to have movement and motion here. Okay, as we start to release, we're rolling onto our side body. This is the side that lets you see me the best. The lower elbow is planting, and then the legs are kind of taking that banana shape, so swiveling forward just a hair. From here, the motion will look like this. An arm comes up, and then we crunch elbows and knees together, extend out to hover, and then crunching in. Exhale, crunch, inhale, extend. So just kind of balancing right on that hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now leave the hands still. The legs, what they're going to do is open away from each other and close while we're balancing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Swivel around, coming onto the other elbow. Finding this balance. It's that spot right in between the femur bone and the sitting bone. So finding that balance right in between here. The arm lifts up, the legs extend, and we crunch. Inhale, exhale. Three, 2, 1. Extend and stay. Legs open and press together. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Swiveling back open to the first side, elbow down. This time we're completely on the side body in a straight line. So from here, this top arm is going to circle toward the legs. As it rises up to the sky, we lift the hips up and then circle it back down to help the hips rest. We're going to try to aim for 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. One more side. A straight line, we're on the elbow. The top arm circles toward the leg, and then it rises to lift the hips up and down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Just come to sit. Here we're going to play with the breath of fire. So this is a breath you can keep in mind as we're in these winter months. This is a breath you can do even in the car while you're driving, or you can do it first thing when you wake up, those moments when you feel cold, maybe times when nobody else is really around. But this breath happens by a pulse of the diaphragm. We don't focus on inhale. The inhale is the only amount that naturally flows in. The exhale we do force out though with that squeeze of the diaphragm in and out of the nose. And so it sounds like this. I take an inhale through my nose. Exhale, I release all the air. And then I begin to pulse that diaphragm. So I'm going to aim for about 50 pulses at that rate. If you need to go slower, that's okay. If you need to pause before I wrap that 50 up, that's okay. We don't need to get lightheaded from this. But then when you're ready, take a nice inhale. Exhale. Begin to pulse. So the full diaphragm squeezing. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. From here, exhale completely without holding any air. Pause. Inhale completely holding the air. Pause. And back to the normal breath. Good. So we're gonna play with a little balance challenge. We're gonna head up to boat pose. So we're balancing on the hips. The shins try to come up parallel with the legs. You can hold onto the thighs if this is a hard enough boat pose already. This is where it really gets tricky if you're able to join all the way in. So this would be trying to grab big toes or the sides of the feet from the boat pose, and then trying to extend the legs up straight. So this is already pretty tricky. Some people might take a moment to roll out and then come back into it. So if that happens, don't stress, just try to find the balance again. If you're doing okay with this balance, try to let the legs open and then come together. That'll challenge the balance even more by that constant shifting of our weight. If we're doing this, we're taking 3, 2, and 1. And then let's head for a moment into cobbler's pose. Gently setting the feet down, let the head rest up and over. Let the neck be with constant motion. So rocking the head a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. Just easing into all the tight spots that might be there. Okay, as we rise back up, we're bringing our thighs together. We're going to try to aim for boat pose with that 50 rounds of breath of fire. So you can absolutely choose your difficulty. If even leaving the feet on the ground, having the hands support the thighs and then leaning back just a hair is enough of a challenge, doing that breath of fire, that's okay. You could take normal boat pose, you could release the hands. You could even make this harder by lowering to a half boat. So I'll try from the half boat. If you ever need to back up a level, so make it one step easier, that's okay. So find your boat pose that you'd like to work with. Take an inhale, exhale, and begin. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale completely as we start to rise up. Hold without air. Inhale completely, hold with air. Good, and as we set the feet down, come into normal breath. Hug the arms around the thighs. We're setting up a chest to thigh connection. From here, start to walk one foot forward and then the next foot forward. And keep on taking these baby steps until it feels like that connection of torso to thighs is about to release. And then you pause at that spot, whether that's almost at the beginning or almost flat. It doesn't matter too much. Feel how in this pose, the breath is that aspect of the flow. It's that aspect that keeps us out of stagnation. So keep the breath flowing into the belly. Another good inhale. With our exhale, we come up. From here, the toes are pointing, big toes touching. We can grab onto heels or onto the feet or onto the shins, whatever helps us balance here. We rock back like we're about to be in a boat, and then instead we start to extend one leg and then bend it back in, having this constant flow. Enjoy the hamstring stretching out for us, and then this nice release. With this one, because it's just a stretch, I like to work with the inhale through the side and then exhale coming back into the center. Let's take each side one more time. And then trying to balance on our hips. Let's see if both legs can open up together. And then both legs can come back in. Let's aim for 4 more if that's possible. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Beautiful. Cross the legs, come forward onto hands and knees. Let's do a couple of cat-cows. Getting into the spine, add some movement, a nice amount of flow. One more cycle, up and down. And then walk the hands forward into kneeling plank, or if you'd like to take full plank, that's okay. Here we're gonna go for 10 pulses, bending the elbows. This could be a push-up or just a half lowering down. And here's 9, exhale, inhale. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Tucking the toes, lift the hips up into downward facing dog. Add some motion, keeping the legs in a good stretching place. Float the right leg all the way up to the sky. Step the right foot in between hands. We're trying to stay on the back toes, keeping the heel lifted. And then rising up to this little lunge shape. What we're going to do from here is allow ourselves to go between 3 pulses, bringing the back knee up and down. 2, 1. And then after that last one, we straighten the front leg and lean partway forward. The heel can kind of rotate down for this part to help the balance. And then bend the front knee. Hop up on the back heel. 3, 2, 1. Rotate the heel down, straighten the front leg, lean forward to the balance. Good. Let's go 3 more rounds. Pop the back heel up. 3, 2, 1. Rotate the heel down, straighten the front leg, lean halfway forward. 2, 3, 2, 1, and pyramid. Last one. 3, 2, 1. And this time as you travel into pyramid, if you'd like to keep the hands resting on the shin or resting on the floor, let yourself stay a few extra breaths with the stretch. Good, getting the hands to plant all the way down. It's okay to bend the knee to get there. Step back into plank. Lower strongly, chaturanga. Back bend of your choice. To downward facing dog. Left leg floats. Step it in between hands. Back heel's lifted at first as we rise the torso up. Arms can just be like the balance beads, like whatever helps you balance here. So then 3 cycles down and up. 2, 1. Rotate the back heel. Hips are still facing forward as we take that half lean forward. And up. Off the heel. 3, 2, 1, and forward. Rising up, 3 more sets. 3, 2, 1, and forward. Two more. 3, 2, 1, and down. Last one. 3, 2, 1. And this time as you're going to pyramid, you can stay with hands on the shin or hands on the floor. Bending the knees so we can plant the hands. Let's take another flow. Step back, lower chaturanga. And a back bend, you don't have to go as deep as knee. And downward facing dog. Good, let's walk up to the top of the mat, a forward fold. Similar to before when we had that hug around the thighs, the knees can have a slight bend, especially if that allows the torso to rest down onto the thighs a bit deeper. Next, inhale to rise. And then exhale, hands down to the heart. And then arms by our sides. This next motion reminds me of a drinking bird. I bend my knees like I'm about to sit into a chair. And as I sweep my arms like a bird at my sides, I lift the heels up. Trying to balance. 3, 2, 1. Heels down, straighten the leg, mountain. Good, let's go 4 more rounds. Drinking bird. Balance with the heels lifting. 3, 2, 1. Straighten. Stand. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. And up. 2 more. 3, 2, 1. And up. 1 more. See if this can be the steadiest of them all. Heels lift. 3, 2, 1. Good. Coming back up. From here, come into goddess pose. The feet step wide. We're already sinking down. Posture is lifting up tall at first. Let the arms come out to the sides. We're taking 10 arm circles. So not too large of a circle, a nice tennis ball size. Here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse the arm circles. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the arms into cactus shape. A nice inhale every time we're in the center. Exhale, use the muscles to twist as far as you can to one side. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist second side. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Arms can open to the side if you can hold. If not, you can bring them to the waist. And we're going to do 50 more rounds. This is our last set of Breath of Fire. So take an inhale. Exhale, let it go out your nose. And pulse. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands come to the thighs. Take an exhale, release all the air, hold. Inhale, hold with air. And we're returning back to normal breath. Turn the toes forward, drop the hands down. Feel the spine start to release. This can be with stillness, or if you'd like to add little motions, you could rock the spine left and right just a little bit. Turning the right toes to the right, walk the hands to surround that foot. And take 5 little pulses with the knee, bending and straightening. 4, 3, 2, 1. Leave the legs straight, walk through the center, and then turn the toes over to left side, hands surrounding that leg. It's okay if you're not all the way straight, just try to go as deep as you can, and then bend and work towards straight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go back through the center, release the arms, just another breath in. And exhale, bend the knees, hands to hips, roll the spine up. We're up at the top, let's take a flow. Inhale, circle arms up to sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, travel to plank, lower chaturanga. Up to back bend. And downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, we're going to float the left leg up to the sky. Bring that left knee to the nose just once. Bring left leg up to sky. And then from here, as we keep this left knee bent, start to rock into a side plank where that left knee ends up underneath. Right arm is floating. Slide this foot to the ground, off to that side. Or maybe try to keep it floating for 3, 2, 1. Now drop the foot to touch the ground, drop the hand down, and we're sliding down onto the side of that left hip. We're trying to keep both legs activated. If the foot can slide up higher, that's okay, or stay at about 90 degrees. Either way, rotate the torso forward and lower down to elbows. I love this one because the weight of my body on the side of that left hip brings me into a nice IT band stretch. If you don't really feel that, you can scoot the foot higher up. Let both knees soften into a bended shape, and then continue to bring this left knee underneath your body into pigeon pose. You'll need to pick the hips up to set them right up at top in the center, and then lower down to elbows. Okay, so as we're here, let's plant the hands, tuck the back toes. We're taking downward facing dog, maybe little hip wiggles. And we've got one more side to play with. So from downward facing dog, float the right leg up to the sky. One time, take the knee into the nose and extend it back up. Bend the knee, head into side plank with that right leg underneath. Left arm floating, right leg goes to the ground off to that side and hold, or try to keep the foot floating for 3, 2, 1, lower, all the way to the side of that right hip. Both legs become active, maybe continue to scoot it higher as we twist our elbows forward, maybe dropping one or both to the ground. That was our last hard thing, so start to feel the breath slowing down. Feel the heart rate calming. And then coming up to hands, let the knees soften so that you can continue to transition the legs toward pigeon pose, picking the hips up. Keep the sacrum level as you lower down to elbows. And as we take a down dog one last time, let this really just be a chance to wiggle the hips and the knees. Lowering to child's pose when you feel ready. Enjoy that release through the spine. Okay, from here, as we start to rise up, we're scanning through our body and we're asking our body what last little beneficial stretches we can give it. If there's an obvious spot, shoulders, spine, legs, feel free to head toward any of those last stretches. You can take a full minute or two, no rush, but just keep on letting your body move through gentle stretches until eventually, maybe 30 seconds, maybe a minute from now, sooner or later, your body becomes ready for a nice Shavasana pose. Sooner or later, when you get there, begin to let the breath take over. Again, no rush to get there. At some point when you are in Shavasana and the breath takes over, begin to come to that realization that because we always have the breath flowing, Our body can never be completely stagnant. Even on a macro level, we've got so much motion going on. The diaphragm, the lungs, the whole torso expanding and contracting with each breath. And so really let that idea of motion help you flow in toward this meditative Shavasana state. That motion being the relaxation. It's that easeful rocking that carries us every day of our life, from the first breath to our last. So let that rocking ease you out of stagnation and into a deeper internal peace and calm. Here we'll begin to deepen our inhales and our exhales. Start to introduce little movements back to the body, fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually coming to a nice fetal position off to one side. And taking maybe 3 or 4 more breaths until you're ready to rise up to this comfortable seated place. As hands join together in front of our heart, we connect with this idea of relieving ourselves from stagnation with flow, with motion, with breath, and with constant movement. And in these ways, our body warms up and we come out of that couch potato state into the state of, okay, I'm ready to conquer this day. I'm ready to set a goal and make it happen. And so with this greater idea of yes, of excitement, of I can move forward, of I can do great things with my day, even though it's cold, to lead us forward, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.